Hey, everybody. Listen, happy Wednesday. Welcome in the building. I'm so glad to see y'all here. Happy Wednesday. Listen, people, tonight's title is simple, okay? It's called Second Chances. Second chances. We often over here, the people get in their feelings, get a little emotional about, people that commit crimes and they don't want them to do a whole bunch of time because they're like, oh, jail is not, they don't really rehabilitate people and doing all this time, blah, 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 blah. And I'm here for it depends on the crime. And I'm also here for they need to revamp the jail system. I shouldn't be subjected to being beat down, unalived, assaulted, or SA while I'm doing my time in jail. It should be illegal. And when that happens in certain jails, those jails need to be held accountable to the state that they live, that their jail is in. I think it's unfair. I think these inhumane conditions in the jail are terrible. But I also believe that there are certain crimes that I'm sorry, you got to do the time. So my panel's going to have a tough job tonight because it's about second chances. I got 3 stories here. Got stories where a person was given another chance and they just went back in the streets and committed more crimes over again. Got another story where this young man was 13 when he committed the crime. He's doing 29 years and he's almost up with his time. Did he learn his lesson? Will he be able to reintegrate into society well and never commit another crime again? We're going to talk about it. So my first story is this mom. Her children worked at Little Caesars, the restaurant, the chain. And the children, I guess, had a problem with one of their co-workers. I don't know what's with the mothers who tell their kids to choose violence. I'm confused about those mothers. That you legit tell your kid to choose violence. So they called moms and said they got a problem with the co-worker. And the mother pretty much told them go back at the job and show that co-worker a lesson. So the 2 siblings, they gang up on said co-worker, stomped her till she was unconscious. The brother, he went to jail for it, and he's still in jail to this day, and they're waiting the trial or whatever for that particular case. But in the meantime, mommy was home, and because she wasn't convicted yet, she's just accused, allowing, allegedly, underage children to drink, smoke, and do all kinds of stuff in her home. So now she's locked up. So she was pretty much... Oh, listen, we're going to talk about it, but all I can say is if the mother is like that, what do you expect from the kids? So we got that story. Then we got this Lyft passenger who unalived the driver. I told y'all I'm not really into Lyft and Uber. I could count on one hand how many times I've been in a Lyft or Uber. I don't like it. I'm very old school. I like the cab companies, even though this Lyft and Uber is kind of taking over. I like the actual cab companies. I like the actual car service business. And why? Because those particular services, they do vet out their drivers. With Uber and Lyft, you could wake up, you never physically see anybody. Everything is done online. Just because I send you in paperwork and information don't mean that I am who I say I am. Everything is done online. They don't physically see nobody. You upload, you do online. Next thing you know, they mailing you the light for the window of your car that say Lyft, Uber, or whatever. And then you got access. When I punch in that I need this ride, you got access to my information, my home. You come and pick me up or wherever and drop. No, I do not like Uber or Lyft. I just don't. But y'all got to remember, I'm old school. The time before they had Uber and Lyft, and you called the local cab company. Or if you was in New York, you just, certain spots, you just raise your hand out in the street and the yellow cab will pull over and pick you up and take you where you got to go. But let me tell you something about the yellow cabs in New York. I don't know about anywhere else, but I know in New York, they got to take a test. And they have to pass the test. And they have to know the area they're going to drive. They got to know where all the local hospitals are in case their passenger has an emergency. They know how to drive them to the local hospital. Your Lyft driver is not going to know nothing. Matter of fact, they might kick you out their car. Them Lyft drivers be coming and they be sizing you up. Oh, you not getting in my car. The Lyft driver come to see you without your support dog and they leaving you on the side of the road. So this Lyft driver, he gets in the car. And you know what? The obsession with people and other people's sexuality is bananas these days. It's bananas. It's crazy. I don't understand it. It's bananas. He gets in the car. In his head, he's thinking that the Lyft driver is gay and wants to kidnap him. He made all this stuff up in his head. And then he pows the Lyft driver in the back of the head. Then when he's in the courtroom, he want to talk about, oh, he's sorry. He thought this, that, and the other. No, sir, I'm sorry. You unalive somebody. You did the crime, and now you got to do the time. Don't give us this half bogus story about you thought you was about to be kidnapped and all this other stuff. No, sir, stop. The Lyft driver didn't come out of nowhere. You had to put the ride in the app, and you just think that this man came to kidnap you? The people be doing the fool these days. But we're going to talk about it. And you want to give that person a second chance? Then we got this kid when he was 13. He's a grown man now. When he was 13, he unalived his teacher. He did his time. He doing his time because at 13, I think they said they gave him 29 years. He's almost done with his time. And he said he learned his lesson. I don't know. And see, here's the thing with people learning a lesson. Even us everyday people. You could be dating somebody. They acted a fool. Y'all broke up. And then they won't come back to you talking about, I learned my lesson. I'm going to do better now, do different. And you fall for the okie doke. You bring them back in. And next thing you know, 2 weeks later, they back to the same old person that you knew before that you broke up with. I don't know the answer to are people really rehabilitated or not. I don't know. And I don't think we'll ever know. I think it's a roll of the dice. You taking a chance. But he says that he has changed. And we're going to talk about it. Does he deserve a second chance? I would like to say we all do, but I don't know. It's scary. Because sometimes a second chance means that another victim happens. Somebody else loses their life because we try to give somebody a second chance. It's crazy. It's sad. But listen, people, I done talked enough. It's Wednesday. It's trending topics. We're in the building. Y'all know the routine. Y'all need to hit that like button, okay? The Diva working. Bringing y'all these stories. Working. So do me a favor, hit the like button. That's all I ask you to do. Hit the like button, people. So y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Wednesday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Second Chances. We got the Little Caesars, the mom. If you are being raised by somebody who chooses violence, most likely you're going to choose violence when the situation comes up. We got the Lyft passenger, and we got this young Nathaniel, Brazill, who he did his time. And he's ready to come out into the world and do better. Let me bring the people in the building. Hey, Julius. Hey, in my opinion. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, y'all, hit the like button.
Hey, Callie. So listen, guys, let's go with this first story here. This mother with the Little Caesars. And I'm giving y'all the backstory. So please stay connected. Let's stay on track tonight with the storylines. The backstory is that her kids were working at the same Little Caesars restaurant. They had an issue with their co-worker. They called mommy. Mommy told them go do what they had to do. They go beat up the co-worker unconscious. The brother goes to jail. The mother kind of skated off that. But then a couple months down the line, they get a call to the house. They raid the home. The mother's letting young people underage drink, smoke, and carry on. So they arrested her. Let me share a screen so we can get more into this story. And y'all know y'all got to bear with me because the computer sometime we're going to claim the computer. Come on, computer, act nice tonight. Be nice to Diva. So let me see. Is this the right one? Just give me a minute here. Is this it? Let's hope this is it. I think this is it. Let's share. Okay, wait 1 second. Okay, y'all, it's like is waiting to kind of load up there. So we'll give my computer a second to kind of load up, and then I will okay, looks like it's coming through. Let's see. She's coming through. There she go. Let's play.
Developments. A Gwinnett County mother accused of helping her kids beat up a teenager is back in jail. Police say this time she let kids use drugs inside her home. Channel 2's Gwinnett County Bureau Chief Matt Johnson is live near Snellville. Matt, neighbors are very concerned for the kids in the house.
That's right. Concern for those kids and concern for their own safety as well. We tried to speak to somebody in the home today, an adult, but she didn't want to be interviewed. Meanwhile, this latest arrest raises some serious questions about what's going on in the home. Barely 7 months after police say she orchestrated a brutal attack on a Little Caesars employee.
I'm thankful that I'm alive.
Jasmine Landers is back behind bars, facing new felony drug charges after what police say they found in her home.
We hear gunshots from there all the time.
Gwinnett County police arrested the 35-year-old mother last week at the same home near Snellville, where police say she let children drink and do drugs. Photos from neighbors on Friday show police discovering what they say were THC gummies and psychedelic mushrooms inside the home, along with more evidence that children were using drugs.
I don't understand that. Like, how are you allowing underage drinking and drugs and all of that right there as a mother?
The new arrest comes as Landers awaits trial from charges stemming from an attack in March. That's when prosecutors say she coached her children by phone on how to assault a teenage coworker.
I could hear Jasmine saying, "It's the Hispanic, the one without glasses."
Police say Landers' daughter and two sons burst through a back door at the Centerville Highway location and kicked the victim until she lost consciousness.
The last thing I remember seeing is literally a boot to my face.
The mother was arrested after that attack, but now faces new felony drug charges. and remains held in jail without bond. Her 20-year-old son has been in jail since that Little Caesars attack. It's unclear how many kids are still in the home. Live in Gwinnett County, Matt Johnson, Channel 2 Action News.
That is not a good situation for any of them, though, Matt. Thank you.
Horrific. Hold on, let me share screen again. Let's see if the computer will be nice. Let me just share one more thing here. When your mother wants to orchestrate on the phone with you how to attack somebody, is just unbelievably sad. Yeah, the whole family is problematic, Savannah. But you know what? They was raised by a problematic mother. Like, so what do you do with that? So Little Caesars attack leads to police raid at suspect's home, uncovers fentanyl in pows in the home. 2 siblings and their mother face charges following a brutal assault at a Little Caesars restaurant, leading authorities to discover pows, drugs, and deplorable living conditions at their family home. Shania Landers, 17, her brother Jarvis Landers, 19, and their mother, Jasmine Landers, 35, were arrested last Friday in connection with the March 2nd attack on a 17-year-old restaurant employee at the Centerville Highway location. According to Gwinnett County Police, a group entered through a rear door where Shania allegedly dragged the victim by the hair, repeatedly punched her and kicked her in the head until she lost consciousness. She's also accused of robbing the victim. Police said Jarvis is accused of pointing a pow at the victim. The assault was captured on surveillance video. The victim was later taken to a hospital by her mother with injuries including facial swelling, a split lip, and temporary vision loss in one eye. Following the assault detectives traced the suspect to their residence on Silver Hill Court, where they live with their mother, Jasmine Landers, who worked at the same Little Caesars with her son. Officers executed a search warrant at the home Friday at around 6 p.m., prompting a police response with 15 or more patrol cars. They were running towards the house, and I saw them with their shields, said a neighbor who wished to remain anonymous. I heard them asking people to come out with their hands up. During the search, authorities discovered pows, felony amounts of fentanyl, evidence of underage drinking and drug use, dog feces in the house, and an abused dog. That is very much alarming. I mean, they're literally right there, the neighbor said. I don't understand how you're allowing underage drinking and drugs as a mother. While Jasmine Landers was not charged in the restaurant assault, she now faces separate felony charges related to the items discovered in the home. Her children face a slew of charges, including aggravated assault and other individual offenses. All 3 family members remain in jail without bond until their upcoming court dates. This is beyond sick and sad. Julius, your thoughts? Tara, I appreciate you. Much love. Thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you for supporting the channel. Much love. I really appreciate you. Julius, your thoughts?
This is a hot mess. Do we not know how to think before we act anymore? Do we not know how to take a quick breath? I'm pretty sure what was going on with the co-worker at Little Caesars, if the co-worker was actually made aware that there was an issue, I'm pretty sure, oh goodness, for this new generation, communication would have worked wonders. No, but you gutter snakes just want to tussle down on the ground and fight. Thinking y'all big and bad and got it like that. And look at y'all now. Well, I hope Bubba, Big Susie, and Big Weezy don't make y'all their boyfriends and girlfriends. Good luck to you, though.
In my opinion, your thoughts?
It's despicable to know that a mama was coaching her kids how to attack somebody. Instead of teaching her kids how to work through their problems. She was teaching them how to be violent. And I wonder if this violence is because she was drugging them up.
Mm.
How does drugs affect kids that are underage? Nobody
Mm.
knows that. We don't even know how long she's been drugging them up.
Mm.
You know, it's sad when I hear these stories because instead of caring for her kids like she was supposed to, loving on them and protecting them, she was the one that was abusing them and then
Mm.
allowing them to abuse the world. This is sad and despicable all at the same time. Now they should lock her up under the cell.
Mm. I appreciate you. Thank you. My opinion. Katrina, your thoughts?
Hey Diva, hey panel, hey cat. Um, my thing is, if this employee was causing y'all this much problems, why not just go home and talk to the manager the next day? Or talk to somebody or call the manager. But yet and still, by my mom telling me to beat somebody up, I'm not gonna do it if I got a mind of my own. So she's been controlling these kids forever because them kids was old enough to know not to go in there and fight somebody, even if they mama told them to do that. Well, maybe she was one of the type of mama saying if you don't fight, you can't come back to my house or something. Because at their age, they know what's right and what's wrong. And for her to have that stuff at that house and the folks at the house was deplorable. So they're not even cleaning up the house. Why in the world would I want you to make my pizza? If you nasty at home, you be nasty at work. Don't touch my pizza. Then you got a dog in there. You ain't cleaning up the feces or anything like that. No, ma'am. I don't want nothing from you. And it's sad. And like they said, in my opinion, said, yeah, she need to be under the jail because you're not showing these kids how to clean up a house. You sure kids should know how to clean up the house when they in kindergarten. So they ain't cleaning up the house. They going to work. It's nasty. So you going around people's food being nasty, and then you beat that girl up in the on the job. And if it was a guy, why did he jump in? He should have just let his sister did it. You a man hitting on this girl, so yeah, they all need to be locked up because I don't think none of them got no sense. Not even the dog, because he should have ran away. But that's all I got.
Thank you. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is the thing. This is an unwell, mentally unbalanced person with a substance abuse issue that's probably been like this all those kids' life, and those kids are probably all kind of jacked up. They probably got their own issues. They might have hereditary mental issues. They might have substance issues, or they might just be traumatized from being raised by this unstable woman. Um, I am pretty sure that this was going to lead back to either some type of severe substance issue or mental health issue.
Mm.
And I don't know what we do with people like this. I always ask this question: what do we do with these people? Because there are some people who are just unwell and they're not going to be able to really function in society normally.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole thing about people thinking they could go and just get in fights with people and not go to jail, I really think they need a reality check. They need to just go, just at least sit down for at least about 3 months every time they feel that they could do this. That's not real life. That's when you're in grade school and the teacher comes and separates you guys. When you're an adult and you go and put your hands on people, you gonna get a case. If you got any money, you're probably gonna be sued. And that's if the person doesn't have something to defend themselves with and takes you up out of here. That is the reality of you thinking that you can go out and get into fights with people as an adult. It does not work like that. You are not in grade school anymore. I don't really understand where people are, because I see it even in the comments where they just think that as a grown person you could just get in a fight and nothing's gonna happen. I haven't lived in that world, but yeah,
Mm.
I mean, lock them up. That ain't gonna solve nothing because these people got real problems. Like these people got substance abuse, mental illness. Is like probably a whole slew of stuff wrong with these people, and it's just gonna go on and on and on to eventually they end up doing something where they get locked up where they can't get out, or they end up being unalived in some way.
Mm. Mm. Thank you. Wayne, your thoughts?
I say lock her up.
Mm-hmm.
People say it may not do nothing, but guess what? It won't be no more children for a while, as
That
far as
part.
like for her to abuse. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
surprised she's not under I don't want to say attempted murder, but when you start giving kids drugs, you don't know what their body can withstand.
Mm-hmm.
Give them the wrong thing and it's too much and they're gone. Of course, she never thought about that. She probably thought, oh, it's just gummies, it's just whatever. But you don't know what kind of reaction somebody's going to have. When she sent a child to school to attack somebody, that could have went sideways too and could have turned into an M.
Oh, it could have, because they beat the girl unconscious at the restaurant. They beat her unconscious, and that they had it on surveillance.
People have brain trauma. You know, it's sad.
Totally irresponsible as a parent. She needs to be locked up. I ain't say throw away the key, but lock her up. Any treatment that needs to be done, any kind of counseling, ever do it right from the jail or prison, wherever she's at. Because this woman, eventually, some child is going to be unalive because of her negligence. So get off the street fast as it can. That's it.
Yeah, and the substances they found in the house, they called a felony charge. So
I
that
believe she
means
was. I believe she was dealing. I believe she was dealing.
I was going to say that. Because you had to you had to be dealing, because you had more than just the regular use of it. This is sad. But even though the kids, they're of an age where they should know better, but I would say this: how do you know better if you probably grew up in that lifestyle and that's all you know? That's all you know. So he brought a pow to the restaurant. His mother worked at the restaurant too. So the mother probably had an issue with the girl and told them to go there and get this girl. It's very sad. And the girl was just trying to work. So, but they locked up for now. And they got no bond. So hopefully they will be out of our lives for a good 10 to 20 years or something like that, because this is egregious. Now, and you know you sick when you know you're already in trouble for this whole incident that happened at Caesars, and you still in the house carrying on and acting a whole fool. And then the neighbor said every now and then they be hearing pow-pows in the house. So what are they doing? Pow-powing each other? God, this is just a mess. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and roll into the next story. I guess I'll do this Lyft driver. So let's take a listen. Let me share a screen. All right, I'm waiting for my screen to kind of pull up there and show it. And as soon as it does, I will play it for y'all. But the gist of it is that, here we go. We'll take a listen.
Fulton County judge has sentenced a now former Atlanta police officer to nearly 3 decades in prison.
Kobe Minor pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of voluntary manslaughter for killing his Lyft driver, 35-year-old Reginald Thomas Folks, last year. 11 Live's Grace King was in the courtroom for a really emotional sentencing hearing. Grace, talk us through what the victim's family said and how they reacted to this verdict.
Well, we heard from his mom, we heard from his dad, we heard from his cousin, all who hoped that Kobe Minor would spend the rest of his life behind bars. But his murder charge was reduced to voluntary manslaughter through a plea deal. So the judge sentenced him to about 29 years with the possibility of parole.
In a Fulton County courtroom, Kobe Minor asked for one thing.
I ask that you find it in your heart.
But after 500 days of anguish, the Folks family made their answer clear.
Forgiveness is overrated, and I don't need that to heal, because there is no healing that will ever make this wound feel like it was never there.
In May 2024, Reginald Reggie Thomas Folks was driving for Lyft when the now former APD officer called a ride home.
How can you cowardly execute in the back of his head an unarmed, hardworking black men whom he hired to drive him home.
Minor's attorney says he was having a mental episode when he got in the car and thought Folks was part of a, quote, gay fraternity that could kidnap him.
At about the 2-minute mark, it becomes apparent to me that Kobe realizes exactly what has taken place. And I can hear in that call remorse.
But remorse can't bring Reggie back.
Reggie did not deserve to have his life taken.
Reggie's family says they'll always remember him as a happy, confident, and wonderful young man taken from them far too soon.
He never gave up. He always supported people. He always supported his families. I no longer have my protector. I no longer have my twin.
And in his sentencing, Judge Scott McAfee told Minor he hopes he'll dedicate the rest of his life to honoring Reggie. If Minor turns his life around, he could be eligible for parole.
All right, Grace, thank you so much. And if parole is on the table, Judge McAfee said the Folks family would get an opportunity to tell the parole board how they feel before any decision is made.
You know, just I often say over here, not every cop is bad. Not every judge is bad. And I will say this, I feel for cops, I feel for judges that are out there doing the right thing. I mean, the thing that some of these cops have to see when they go on the scene and they see people that are unalived, it got away on you after a while. And for a judge to have to sit through these trials like this, to hear about how someone was unalive, especially when it's some senseless unaliving because you thought he was part of something and you just pow him in the back of the head. Sir, are you crazy? He was having a mental episode. So former Georgia officer sentenced on charges related to Lyft driver's death. Atlanta, Georgia, a former Georgia police officer was sentenced Tuesday in connection with charges he was facing in a Lyft driver's death. Kobe Minor was sentenced to 29 years in prison. He pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter, which was a reduced charge. He also pleaded guilty to possession of a firearm, possession of a foreign substance, and driving under the influence. The charges stem from the death of 35-year-old Reginald Reggie Folks in May 2024. In August 2024, Minor was indicted by a Fulton County grand jury on charges of murder, felony murder, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Folks was shot to death in the Union City after police said he picked up Minor through Lyft. Arrest warrant stated Minor told police he believed Folks was in a gay fraternity, that Minor believed he was being kidnapped to be recruited into it. At the time of the shooting, Minor was on administrative leave from the Atlanta Police Department because of an unrelated incident. He resigned the day of his arrest. It's just sad what happened to this young man. May he rest in peace. Julius, your thoughts?
It's heartbreaking what happened to that man. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
It's heartbreaking what happened to that man. That did not deserve to happen. And I'm going to be honest. That man's excuse is bogus.
Mm-hmm.
Bogus. I'm going to be frank, and I am a gay man. I have never once heard of a gay fraternity. So that, to me, I was just like, oh, okay, he's one of those. He's mad he got caught. And then now it's like, oh, he had a mental health episode. Now, mental health issues in law enforcement is a real thing. I can't say it's not because it is. However, the man didn't do anything to warrant being unalived. So the fool has to be cleaned up, and you know what? It's deserved.
Thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
This case was BS. And I feel sorry for the family because y'all got duped. If I'm following the story correctly, He was already suspended as a police officer for doing something unethical.
Okay, talk.
Then this man get in a Lyft car, and the best he could come up with is he thought he was gonna be kidnapped. We're gonna take that for what it is and give him a lighter sentence. I call BS. Our justice system is flawed. It is flawed in so many different areas because they want to protect the ones that they think are protecting us when these people are not protecting us. You know what? I pray that family go to every, and I do mean every, parole hearing he has. And I pray that talks to them people that's on that parole board to never let this man out. I pray that he gets in trouble in prison and he's held there even longer because he deserves it. Because he took somebody's brother, somebody's father, somebody's uncle, and he took their life with no remorse whatsoever. I didn't hear him apologize. I didn't hear nothing about he was sorry. No, all I heard was excuses. Oh, he was mentally ill. I heard it in his voice. I bet you did because he was lunch his defense. He's a police officer. He knows what to do.
Thank you, in my opinion. Wayne, your thoughts? And you are correct. You made a very good point. You're a police officer. You know what to do. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, everybody got an excuse for their wrongdoing.
You better talk.
This is the most ridiculous thing. You're a police officer, and all you could come up with is that you thought it was a gay fraternity, you thought it was this or whatever. Totally ridiculous. And like, I didn't hear the part where he was on administrative leave or whatever. But again, this man needs to serve time, because when you take a life from people who love you, you didn't just take a life, you took lives. You took lives, you took future lives. Like I said yesterday, from this, they'll have no grandchildren, no nothing. All their dreams and stuff is just shattered. One person, and somebody gonna judge. I can tell in his voice. Well, what about his heart? Can you see his heart? That's totally BS. When you're in a situation like that, sure, at that point you might be crying and make all this other kind of, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, and got the nerve to almost want forgiveness from a family. I like what she said. There's no forgiveness, nothing there. You took from me what I love, so you got to pay. You have to be in jail. And I hate to say it, but sometimes you get so angry, these people who take other people's lives, you want them, I'm not saying you want them unalived, but you want them to feel the same pain that you feel. Because when you feel in pain like that, only you feel it. Nobody else. People can say, oh, I know what you're going through. No, you don't know if you're going through if you hadn't had a child taken away from you. So you feeling something that only you feeling right then, and it's deep. And I think the same grief, all that, you need to experience just as well. And feel it while you're confined, and have a lot of time to think about what you did to this person's family. Maybe after 29 years, you'll realize what you took from a family, because life has been taken from you for 29 years. You wasn't out to be on the street to experience all the fun and the things that life has to offer you. So you got 29 years. I hope he gets the whole 29. You won't feel the experience of death, but you will feel the experience of not being able to sleep when you want to sleep, not being able to eat what you want to eat, not able to choose your friends. Rather, they choose you, and not in a good way. I'm done.
Katrina, your thoughts? Katrina, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me
Uh-huh.
now? Okay.
Yes.
I feel sorry for that young man that he took his life. But what I'm finna say is by him taking that young man's life, that took him off the streets because he was on administrative leave at the police office. I mean, at the police station, but he wasn't fired. He resigned once he got this case. So imagine if he was still out there on the streets, how many other people he would have took out with the intimidation of I'm thinking that you finna get me because you're gay or transsexual or something like that. Just think about how many other people that he would have got rid of or caused this kind of damage if he was still on the streets. I hate that he did this to this young man's life. Like Wayne said, can nobody replace a lost child? And as you say it, don't nobody know what that person is going through because you haven't felt it unless you have lost that child. But just imagine if he was out there on the street still working as a police officer. I can just imagine some of the things that he was probably do if he was out there. And it's sad to say these people need to be evaluated, tested, do all type of stuff. Like you said, even these people see a lot of stuff. Police officers see a lot of stuff. I don't even know how sometimes they sleep at night because of some of the stuff they see. But and they need evaluation because you don't know if this guy got in the car with the pow pow. I mean, like what was he going with the pow pow? And I'm not saying that he shouldn't had it, but was it his cop pow pow? Because normally when you're on administration leave, they take your pow pows away from you. So I guess he must have had one at the house. But he needed to be off the streets because he was gonna do something worse to somebody. That's worse right there. But he was gonna do something worse to other people because he mentally wasn't stable. Something was wrong with this guy anyway, and we don't know why he was on administrative leave from the get go. And you get in a car, a Uber car, and you say because you thought the man was gonna kidnap you and take you to a gay fraternity. If you felt that way, you should say, "Listen, I don't feel comfortable being in this car. Just let me pay you for what you got and let me get up out of here." That man do have mental issues, big time mental issues. But do you forget, in my opinion, in the jail they don't like cops, so he's gonna get what's just due. That's all I got.
Callie, your thoughts?
First off, I'm not saying that it's not possible that this man got mental issues, but I personally think this man is on something. Why was he calling the Uber in the first place? So I think this guy is on something. He owns he do some type of substance that makes him lose touch with reality. And he was tripping on that stuff and did this to this poor man. And I honestly think that's why he was probably on administrative leave because he probably has a substance issue. I don't believe it's just mental illness. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but to me, this sounds like somebody that was high as a kite, started getting real paranoid, and did this to this man. And now they trying to say, "Well, I'm a cop. I have mental issues." I don't understand what mental issue he could be having. If he was having that kind of mental break, he wouldn't know what day it was. He wouldn't know who the president was. He would not be able to pass a psych test. He would not be able to hold a coherent conversation. This man, I personally, in my opinion, got a substance problem, and that's more than likely why he was on administrative leave in the first place. And I don't think that he should have no mercy. This is crazy. No, this man is gone forever. He can never come back.
Yeah. He's done. He's done, and I'm over him too. Because this ridiculous poor yes, selective mental illness. Yes, I agree with you, Peyton. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and roll into our last story. Hold on one second. I think this is it. Okay, I'm just waiting for it to pop through. But this is a young man that when he was 13 committed the crime. Let's take a listen.
You'll see only on WPTV. 25 years ago, a student at Lake Worth Middle School killed a beloved teacher on the last day before summer break. It was almost unheard of in the year 2000, a school shooting the young killer tried as an adult. All these years later, I visited Nathaniel Brazill in prison near Tallahassee. He reflected on the tragedy and told me he's hoping for a second chance.
Day one, my first thing is to go to my mother's gravesite to communicate to her that I made it out.
25 years later, Nathaniel Brazill still hasn't outrun death, the very thing that put him here.
It's almost over.
It's almost over.
I was 10 feet from the gun.
It was one shot. The police had the roadblock.
I didn't know what was happening.
Nervous?
I couldn't believe that it happened.
I heard a big bang.
It happened in one of the classrooms. All these kids were crying and everything.
When I saw the kids running out the building, I knew it was a gunshot. He shot Mr. Bruno.
Today, we unfortunately have to report the news that a Lake Worth Middle School teacher has been shot and killed on the school campus.
I don't remember pulling the trigger, but I think the gun went off and then I ran.
With less than 3 years left on his 28-year prison sentence, Nathaniel Brazill is opening up about the seconds that changed his life. A school shooting in the final minutes on the final day of class before summer break. He was just 13.
It was an accident. It was not something that I woke up that morning with the intention of today is the day I'm going to do something bad.
Now, 39 years old, we sat down with Brazill, who's serving out the remainder of his time in a prison near Tallahassee.
I have come to look at everything that happens in my life, especially now, as preparing me for something better.
School surveillance tells the story of May 26, 2000.
I've tried to put that day behind me.
Nathaniel arrived at Lake Worth Middle School. Investigators say he was suspended an hour before for a water balloon fight. He left campus, went home, and got a gun he stole from his grandfather before returning to school to see two of his best friends.
It was really more of a to say goodbye for the summer.
He wrote this love letter to one of them. I'm going to miss you. I love you always. But when Nathaniel got to their classroom, Barry Gruno, an English teacher, wouldn't let him inside. That's when the 7th grader pulled out a .25 caliber handgun.
And I took out the gun to try to scare him into letting me talk to him.
The gun went off, one shot.
My biggest regret is that one day.
Barry was a committed father, a committed family man.
Barry's passion for teaching was very great. Barry cared.
There's no doubt Barry Gruno was well-loved, a husband, father, teacher, and basketball coach. His brother visited the school memorial just days after the murder.
I just want to say that hopefully something good will come out of it. And the only way something good is going to come out of it is if people make something good come out of it.
Today, the gym at Lake Worth Middle still bears his name, and a college scholarship still helps students go on to become teachers.
And Mr. Gruno's a special man. Everybody loved him.
Including Nathaniel, who trusted Mr. Gruno.
I think he was more outgoing than most others.
What do you think, what do you imagine that day will feel like when you walk out of here?
I imagine joy, relief, excitement.
That excitement comes from all Nathaniel hopes to accomplish and all he's worked for behind bars.
Since that day, I've tried to pick up the pieces of my life that were shattered that day, and I've strived to continue to better myself.
He walked into jail at 13, earned his GED at 16, became a paralegal at 18, and received his law certification 3 years later.
I have been to 20 different facilities.
20?
Yes. 4 work camps and 16 institutions and annexes. Because of my grievance writing, I have a tendency to make prison officials angry.
Brazill has served as his own lawyer in multiple cases against the Florida Department of Corrections. But just last year, a victory. In his lawsuit, he claimed unlawful retaliatory transfers, what he calls a tactic to silence inmates. A jury found prison officials violated his First Amendment rights. Even today, what sticks out most for Brazill is the praise that came from the judge following the verdict. I know you have desires at some point to be a lawyer, and I hope you have those opportunities because you have a great deal of skill in doing what you're doing.
Those words were some of the most encouraging and motivational words that I believe I've ever heard in my life. For him to take recognition of my accomplishment, it really gave me a lot of motivation to keep going.
That legal victory happened last fall. Earlier this year, Nathaniel was transferred again, where he continues to help inmates with their cases.
Because of my skills with the law, word of mouth about me travel. So when I arrive at a new facility, guys know who I am and immediately start seeking me out.
When he gets out at 41, Brazill plans to leave his prison number behind and make a name for himself in the courtroom, even though to some degree he'll always be on the defense. You go out now into a world where that respect is not going to come so easy. Some would say that you'll wear a scarlet letter.
I don't believe that. We spoke earlier about the detractors who say I should not be released, but I recognize that this is a nation of second chances, and that's all I'm asking for is an opportunity to prove my character.
Brazill said multiple times during our conversation that his actions were not premeditated that day, but he knows what he did was wrong. He says it will haunt him forever.
It is just such a heartbreaking story all around. Clearly, Barry Grunow is so beloved in the community. What is his family saying about this? Have you heard from them? Do they have thoughts about his release, Mr. Brazill's release?
Well, listen, Megan, we have been working on this story for months. We have been in touch with the Grunow family, Barry's wife in particular, Pam. She respectfully declined, we understand, to sit down and chat. We also tried to speak with former teachers and friends. They chose not to come forward and speak publicly. Think about it. 25 years has passed, but it is so clear that the weight of this tragedy is still very heavy. You have a 35-year-old teacher, father, a husband who was just taken from this world too soon.
It's a lot. I wanted to wrap this in and give this perspective. Our title, remember, is Second Chances. Julius, your thoughts?
Even though it's easy for the newscasters to say 25 years have passed, for the affected families, it still feels like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You have those periods of, I'm sure his wife, over all these years, had these periods, Barry would have loved to do this with me. He would have loved this book. He would have loved to see our kids, which I'm pretty sure are grown now and possibly on their senior legs of college, graduating high school and going to college. For them, it feels like yesterday. No amount of prayer or guidance can ease their pain. And this young man said himself that he loved this teacher. This teacher was good to him.
Mm-hmm.
And if you love this teacher and he was good to you, What made you flip when he said no? I'm in the middle of a lesson. You can see your friends after class. Like what? I know scripture says us to forgive, and I know this country is based on second chances. I know that. But in this, I don't know.
In my opinion, your thoughts?
I'm a two minds with this. Um, while I think it's sad that this child end up having to go to prison and grow up there, I feel even worse that this dad, this teacher that everybody looked up to, no longer here. While I can sympathize with us giving people a second chance, I can sympathize with the family not wanting to forgive because you took away their loved one. They don't get a second chance. He can't come back and they get a chance with him. Their chances is gone because of the decision you made. And for the life of me, I can't understand why the parents, the grandparents, whomever this pow belonged to, didn't get no consequences because this was a year old that left school home and got a pow. And then up out of y'all house with it, and y'all still don't know, and he go to school and do this. Y'all are just as responsible as him, if not more, because this was a kid, and y'all were the adults. This is what I say about people who decides to get pows need to know how to take care of them. When we leave stuff out for our kids to think there's a toy, this is what happens. And this is when the parents needs to be charged.
Well, in my opinion, you triggered something in my brain. You are correct. Why wasn't these parents charged? Wayne?
You know, I bet Emmett Till's mother is feeling that pain just like it was yesterday. I bet Medgar Evers' wife, if she's still alive, is still feeling that same pain of the killers got off. And it was wasn't a jury, it was the all-white jury. But they got off. To me, this sounds like a success story. He went to jail, did his time, he got a degree, did everything they say you're supposed to do when you go to jail. And I believe he's rehabilitated. Yes, it is sad that he took somebody's life. But how many of these mothers are out there mourning their children of the lives that other people have taken? I don't really want to get too far into it. Just like it was yesterday. This man needs to be on the street just as well as any of the rest of them. You told him to do 29 years or whatever amount of years, he's doing it. He did it. He got a degree. And I'm sure when he gets out, he'll be a proud member of society. He doesn't have to wear scarlet leather. You think he's the only way that only person that unalives somebody? No. And I'm sure those people's hearts will ache forever. Along with thousands of other black mothers who are suffering now, just recently. So for anybody who don't think this young man should be on the street, I feel sorry for him because he did everything that society tells you to do. You commit a crime, you pay for the crime, and he did everything. and he's able to help other people. If God can forgive him, you can too. I'm done.
Whew, Katrina.
Well, Wayne, I think me and you both in the same little buggy tonight. Um, and in my opinion, because he got suspended for a water balloon fight. Instead of him going home and telling his parents, it was the last day of school anyway. So you got suspended on the last day of school. You mad because you couldn't give your friends the letters to tell them that you're gonna miss them this summer. You could have waited out to school and did that. But you're 13 years old, so I get it. And really and truly, maybe he needed to be locked up. Maybe that saved his life. Because we don't know what the family life was about. If he could just walk in the house and get a pow pow and walk back out, maybe him going to prison saved his life and made him do things that he probably couldn't do if he was out on the streets. He went, got his GED, he got his license to be a lawyer. And becoming a lawyer is not an easy thing. Then he went to court and won his case. Um, and as we say, you can't hold grief in. I mean, you can't hold what is it? You can't hold that inside your body because every time you hold the unforgiving and you holding regret and all that type of stuff, that stuff just make you sicker. And I'm not telling the lady to forgive him. I'm not doing it. But what I'm saying is you can't have that in your heart if you want somebody to forgive you. It don't work that way. But I hope that he get out because, like I said, the jail raised him. The jail raised him. I've seen people that unalive people that was 13 and unalive other people. They didn't get no 29 years. They got whatever their age was, and then they aged out when they got to the juvenile center, and they was out. But he did 29. He did his time. I'm quite sure it wasn't easy for him. Telling what he went through in there. But it seems to me is being in there probably saved his life. So I feel sorry for the teacher. I feel sorry for him. I really do. I really feel sorry for this young child because for you to go home to get a pow pow, that means that you've seen somebody else do this. Because ain't no child that's gonna go home and get no pow pow and come back to no school and try to intimidate somebody unless they seen somebody using that pow pow to intimidate somebody. But all I can say is good luck. I feel for both families. I'm there. I feel for both families. I really do. And I hope they got that mean, like I said, and prayer do work. Prayer will take care of everything that you need to be taken care of. So hopefully everything will come out good for both sides. That's all I got.
Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is a 13-year-old
Mm-hmm.
making this type of decision. In my opinion, I don't think he fully was cognizant of what he was doing. And I do think that this is an idea, whether if he got it from TV or somebody around him. A kid would only have an idea to intimidate someone with a weapon. That's something that was fed to him. And also to even at 13 years old to even think that you could do something like this makes me wonder if there was a little bit of like developmental delay. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like autism. It could just be that he just came from an unstable home and he wasn't connecting with people well. But yeah, I mean, he was 13 years old. I agree. There are other people that have done egregious things purposely, and not just a kid who isn't quite understanding what they're doing, trying to intimidate somebody, didn't understand the consequences and the gun went off. Weapon went off. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah. This, I think he served his time and let him go be a service to society and be a lawyer for other kids or counselor or something so that they don't do things like that. I would like to know what his home life was like or if he might be on the spectrum and was just undiagnosed at the time. Because I think there's something a little bit more going on here. Yeah, because at 13, you kind of know not to do something like that unless there's something else going on. But at this point, it's not going to bring this man back. And again, I don't think he fully understood what he was doing anyway.
I agree with pieces of what everyone said, right? So I will say this though. I don't think necessarily he was on the spectrum. I think that something was going on in the home because he got suspended, they said, for a water balloon fight. But we didn't hear, and we didn't get, of course, all the story, but we didn't hear that other people were suspended for this water balloon fight. If you have a water balloon fight, usually other people are involved, right? But the fact that he went home, and how did he even, the school is partly responsible too, if you ask me, because even if you got suspended, no one has to come pick you up. You could go home, write a letter, and then come back to the school. So there's several people that failed him in this situation. And I'm going to start with the school, because someone should have had to come pick him up once he got suspended. He shouldn't have been allowed to leave the school, go home, and then have the opportunity to come back. Do I think he's on the spectrum? Absolutely not, because when I heard him speak in this interview, he sounded like he was very intelligent. But not only that, if you listen to the whole video, he also said that when he went in there at 13, not too long after he went in there, he got his GED. Not too long after that, he got the certificates and some other things that he did. So I think it was a misguided home. And I think that the misguided home, because not only did this home have a pow in it, he knew how to access it. So, and I'll go back to my opinion on this. Why wasn't the family in charge in this case too? Because you had a pow in your home that was not locked away safely from him in the first place, right? And then, you know, back in 2000, I don't remember too much about the teachers actually locking the classroom back then. So I'm feeling like there's been problems with him all along, that he came back to the school and the teacher wasn't even willing to like open the door to let him in. How he eventually got in and actually pow-powed him, or he said one pow went off. It's just, the whole thing is very sad. And so, you know, when you come back with a weapon, you're coming back to use the weapon. I mean, why come back with a weapon? He said he came back to talk to his classmates and say goodbye. You should have came back with your letters and your voice, but you came back with a pow. Something's going to happen. So I'm just, you know, I do feel though this, he did all of his time. They gave him 29 years, and in 3 years, he's about to come up on that his 29 years will be done. And so I do believe that, yes, he does, but he did his time, because there's people that have done much worse, and they got in less time and they were out. Yeah, at 13, they charged him as an adult. That's the other thing. But we've been talking ever since this Diddy case too, that justice isn't fair. They decide when they want to decide who they're going to charge as an adult and who they're not going to charge as an adult. They purposely charged him as an adult because they wanted him to get all this time, because at 13, he should have been charged as a juvenile, and he would have got out at 18. So this is extremely sad, but there was failures all around. And, you know, of course, the beginning of the failure started at home, and what was going on in the home and what was going on with your thought process. But I go back to this, that when you train violence, there's a high level chance you're going to get a violent kid. Just like this mother, the first story we did. In the home, you got drugs, alcohol, mushrooms, this, that, and the other. And then your kid's going to call you about some chick at the Little Caesars, and you on the phone orchestrated how they going to get down and beat her down. There is no day in this world where I told my son, yeah, you need to choose violence. I always tell him, choose peace. Lean back. Don't be a part of that conversation. So what you get out is usually what you put in. So his family failed him at the home. The school failed him, and I'm reading into it that he had to be a little bit problematic before this balloon fight, because I don't even see that right off the bat from a balloon fight they're going to suspend you. So they probably was having trouble with him for a while. So many entities failed this young man, but I do believe after 20-something years, he did his time, and he needs to be released. And he's thinking about going back to that town because, unfortunately his mother died, and she's buried there. If I was him, though, I wouldn't go back to that town. If he happened to be listening, or anybody that knows him listening, I just wouldn't go back. It's they still got, and rightfully so, they still have this young teacher's picture up at that school. This is something that has never left the minds of that school. And you're talking about back in 2000, where the school powwowings wasn't as relevant as they have become over the years. I just wouldn't go back. I would go somewhere else, start a new life, and do whatever it is he have to do. And I don't even know who he could be released to when he does get out, because of the simple fact of the mother's gone. I'm not quite sure maybe who else in his family is still alive that will be willing to, help him out as he, works on this second chance. But I wish him the best. My heart goes out to that town and everybody that suffered, as a result of the teacher losing his life. My heart goes out to him, because your first protection should be your family, whether your family is just your mother or your father, your uncle, your cousin, your brother, somebody. So it's heart-wrenching. And, as I said, though, I would say to this young man, I wouldn't go back to that town. I'm about to close out, but hey, Felicia, you popped in. Did you want to say something? Felicia, I don't know if you can hear me. Did you want to say something with regards to this story? Okay. I'm going to take that as a...
No, but thanks. Hey, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. All right, guys.
And then, Diva, who gets suspended on the last day of school? I mean,
well,
that's
right.
Crazy.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Katrina. That's why I'm telling you that I'm taking it as I put the clues together, that there was more going on at this school with this young man. There was a lot going on. Not only who gets suspended on the last day, but who's allowed to get suspended and then they just allowed to leave the building without somebody coming to physically get them. So this school failed him too. And you're writing notes. It's a lot. It's a lot. But he has definitely served his time, and I wish him well. But again, I would say don't go back to that town. It's just, to me, it would be the wrong move and wrong road. And especially, you see, they reached out to the wife and other teachers and stuff from that time period, and none of them had anything to say. So anyway, guys, Wayne, did you want to say something?
No, I was going to say, I think he's going to have a bright future.
Yeah, and I hope he does. I really do. Everyone, thank you so much for spending Wednesday night with me, Trending Topics. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all know the routine. If y'all didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. Okay, I'll be working hard to gather these stories for y'all. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for spending time with me. I'll see y'all tomorrow night for Trending Topics. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Choo choo choo.